Can you understand the book of Revelation? Christians have struggled to understand it for years, but it's not as if it's hopeless. People have understood the big picture, and there's actually at least one interesting hint in the first verse about how to understand the book of Revelation. If you watch this short video, I'll explain what that hint is and help you to understand, at least begin to understand, what's going on in the book of Revelation. Verse 1 says that the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show to his servants the things that must soon take place. He made it known by sending his angel to his servant John. That verb there, made it known, semino in Greek, is an interesting one. It's used by John in a few cases. And each time it's used to indicate something that is not fully clear at the beginning, but makes sense when the event happens. Let me give you some examples to make sense of that. Okay, so John uses this verb 3 times in the Gospel of John and only here in Revelation. And in John 12:32, you have this phrase, and I, when I'm lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself. And it's strange. What does that mean? Well, John tells us in verse 33, the next verse, this is his kind of commentary. He said this to show, semino, what kind of death he was going to die. And you have this also 2 other times in the Gospel of John. So, for example, John 21, Jesus has this enigmatic statement about how, for example, Peter would die. He says, when you are old, you'll stretch out your hands, another will dress you and carry you where you do not want to go. Like, what does that mean? Well, verse 19 tells us, this he said to show, semino, but what kind of death he was to glorify God. And the last time this is used, well, I guess the third and final time, is in John 18:32. So, the Jews said to him, verse 31 says, it is not lawful for us to put anyone to death. So he has to essentially be put to death by Pilate as well. And verse 32 explains, this was to fulfill the word that Jesus had spoken to show, semino again, by what kind of death he was going to die. In each case, in the only 3 times it's used in the Gospel of John, this verb indicates something enigmatic, symbolic, important, that is only understood after the fact, namely after Jesus died. And John then makes these comments to give us the interpretive key, as it were, as we're reading the Gospel of John. Okay, so lastly, the only other place in which this verb is used in John and Revelation, there's only 4 uses of it, the first 3 I've already showed, is Revelation 1:1. And it's saying the revelation or the revealing of Jesus the Messiah, which God gave him to show to his servants, the things that must soon take place. He, I guess Jesus, made it known, semino, by sending his angel to his servant John, who bore witness to the word of God and to the testimony of Jesus Christ, even to all that he saw. Blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of this prophecy, and blessed are those who hear and who keep what is written in it, for the time is near. So what seems to be going on here, if this word is being used in the same way that it's used in the Gospel of John, is that what is being shown in this book about what must soon take place and about the time that is about to draw near will be understood from the perspective of the fulfillment. Just like the death of Jesus or Peter was understood after their death, so also will what is shown in Revelation make sense finally and fully after the end has come, that which must soon take place, or the time that is near occurs. Now, that doesn't answer all the questions, but it begins to answer the question, how can we know what Revelation is saying? And I think part of the answer is, you'll have all the information there, but some of it will be difficult to pinpoint the exact meaning per se. You'll know the big picture. But when the end comes, when what is about to takes place, when the time occurs that these things are about, then the pieces will fall into place, and you'll go, ah, that's what that was. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and watch this one above my shoulder.